Pradeep Patkar sir is a consultant psychiatrist and has been practicing for the last 31 years. Sir has been awarded with multiple awards: Dr. S.M. Lulla Oration Award, Dr. A.P. Patkar Oration Award, V.N. Bagadia Endowment Award, Best AMO Award by BMC, Panvel Ratna Award in 2007, Panvel Cultural Center Award for Social Contribution. Sir is an active sportsman on national and state awards in gymnastics, kho-kho, malkham, asanas and athletics. Wow. And sir has also written various state level literature awards for the book Chinta, Swarupani Upay. It's a book on anxiety management in Marathi. Dr. Sanjay Kumawat sir, he's the director at Insight Mind Care Thane. Sir is a consultant psychiatrist at Hiranandani Hospital, Jupiter Hospital and Fortis Hospital, Mulund. Sir is the member of the Maharashtra Rural Health Unit. He was the former deputy director of the Mental Health Government of Maharashtra, former member secretary of the State Mental Health Authority, Government of Maharashtra, former medical superintendent at Regional Mental Hospital Thane, and former member of the Anti-Narcotics Authority, Government of Maharashtra. Welcome to both the chairs. Now I hand over the session to the chairpersons to introduce the session and our speakers.
Yeah. Okay. Can I come here?
Yeah, of course.
तसा काही फरक पडत नाही मी बसून बोललो काय आणि उभं राहून बोललो काय. Okay. As a chairperson, I say good morning to all you esteemed colleagues, speakers and distinguished guests. I also thank President Dr. Shobha Nair and her team for giving me this opportunity to be here with you all. I am humbled by the honor. It's my sincere pleasure to welcome you all to this important gathering on the rehabilitation of mentally ill patients in our communities. We have convened today to address one of the most critical and challenging aspects of modern psychiatry, ensuring that our patients not only receive quality clinical care, but are also successfully reintegrated into society. This meeting is a vital opportunity to discuss a more holistic and community-centered approach to mental health care. In this room, we have a wealth of expertise and experience. I am confident by combining our insights, we can identify innovative strategies and collaborative pathways to enhance the rehabilitation process. This event itself is a testament to our shared commitment to improve the lives of those we serve. The rehab practice has changed the perception of mental illness. The focus gets shifted from our illness model to model of functional disability. I see them in extended frame of reference, and in many similar fields, you all have done a great job here, as usual. Few examples here are, for problem children as well as mental retardation and learning disabilities, you all have done a lot of work to rehabilitate them, to bring them back, the dropouts, to school and education and family. Similarly, you helped sufferers of substance abuse disorders to be back to jobs and families. We all have participated in struggles to rehab our marginalized sections in society, bringing them back to their land, to livelihood, to land owning, rehabilitation, to stable home and work, and then back to claiming the citizenship in independent India. We use rational and scientific thinking for journey of freedom from various suffocating superstitions and unscientific concepts to emancipation of mind. We help people to escape from mental slavery and exploitation to rehab back in free society. For LGBTQ and similar sufferers, we are trying our best for their rehab. In fact, I always say that it was rehab of psychiatry itself, from clinic to community. And so many, the list will go on. I wanted to take some names, but then that will really postpone 15 minutes further our lunch time. So I'm not doing that. But so much work we have done, we did it and continue to do so. In actual rehab, the majority of inpatients represent an utmost difficult to treat patient population. And philosophy here comprises of two intervention strategies. One, which is individualist centered, that aims at developing the patient's skill in interacting with a stressful environment. The second strategy is directed towards developing environmental resources to reduce potential stressors and develop and improve skills and resilience of our individual patients so that they can face the reality. Person coming to center, rehab center, most of them who have lost close, intimate and stable relationships in the course of the disease that needs to be tackled with concern and care to rebuild their social relation network. Rehabs need to make patient skilled in self-care and in social communication to the extent that is accepted back by the family with empathy, confidence and trust over the psychiatric intervention. Actually, doors of rehab center needs to be open to welcome patient in as well as to send him back to society with confidence. And all these things that I am saying today is not simply a day for discussion, it is a call to action. Let us not leave this meeting with just notes, but with concrete plans to foster change. Our collective effort can break the silence and dismantle the stigma that too often follows mental illness. Let us use our time together to share, learn, and most importantly, to shape a future where every person with a mental suffering has the opportunity to lead a fulfilling life within their community. Therefore, I thank you all for your valuable presence, and I now officially declare this meeting to be open. I am thankful to Dr. Kumawat to be with me, and I hand over the proceedings to him. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Patkar. Thank you, Dr. Shobha and her team of BPS for giving me this opportunity. It's really a pleasure that I get a chance to introduce my dear friend Hamid, a very humble person, a great social activist, particularly against superstitious belief systems, which are very much relevant in the field of mental health. Dr. Hamid is a director of a Parivartan NGO that works in the field of mental health. They devise a lot of programs of community-based rehabilitation in the field of mental health. He himself has come up with a lot of publications creating awareness in the field of mental health, and most interesting thing is has devised a software which is a kind of a one-stop solution for all queries in the field of mental health. Another aspect about Dr. Hamid is his program Janas Manaseva Swasthya has been accepted, and it's really a great thing, Dr. Hamid. We all congratulate you for that, that it has been accepted by the National Mental Health Policy and also been acknowledged by the World Health Organization. So it's a big thing that coming from a small city of Satara, and he's coming on such a big screen. He has worked through exact the lines of DMHP, the District Mental Health Program, and has done work in the entire spectrum of human life, that is from the children, youth, adults, and to the senior citizens group. The caregivers group, which is running in various fields across the nation, they are also creating awareness and making training them so that they can continue the task further in the community. So, with such a practical experience in the community, it will be interesting to have two speakers, where one is from the community and my colleague here, Dr. Kuthe, he's from the mental health care facility. So over to you, Dr. Hamid.
Thanks a lot, Dr. Kumawat. Am I audible?
Yes.
I hope I am audible. I'll start. I'll begin with an apology. I'm just recovering from dengue, so could not join in person to this esteemed gathering. But let me start by thanking Dr. Shobha and Dr. Sarika who have given me this opportunity to present my work at Bombay Psychiatric Society. It's really an honor for me that Dr. Pradeep Patkar, who has been a close associate of my father, Dr. Dabholkar, right from the beginning of Understanding Bulan Samiti in chairing this session, and Dr. Kumawat, with whom I started working in the early phases of my work with metro hospitals, is co-chairing. So I'm really happy and honored to be here.
Get well soon.
Just shift to the slides. Is it visible? So, till the slides are getting projected, I want to start with a very basic question for all of us to think about. As the case that I am going to make today is for integration of community-based rehabilitation for persons living with mental health in private setup. Next slide. The case I want to actually start basically by asking us, all of us, experts in this room, of what they think and we think of the word rehabilitation. It might look like a very simple, basic, voice question, but when we talk about rehabilitation for a physical ailment, disability, it's much easier for us to imagine what rehabilitation will look like. So for a person who has hearing disability, it might be simple hearing aid, or for the person who has issues with his or her limb, might be a walking aid. But when we start thinking about rehabilitation from an expert's perspective, if I ask you to draw what rehabilitation looks like in your mind, and these are the answers generally I get when I ask this kind of question to experts. So we can think of rehabilitation centers of different shades and grades, mental hospitals, patients with chronic mental illnesses dressed in a particular kind of a uniform. And if you are lucky, the maximum you can get is psychosocial groups, some recreational activities, group employment activities here and there. That's what really a rehabilitation looks like from an expert, maybe a psychiatrist or maybe a government official who is responsible for developing this service. Next slide, please.
Yeah, go ahead.
Is second slide visible? I can't. So basically, it's about symptom control. This is the first question that the first answer that comes from the patients. But if we go down asking these questions, then the things that patient actually and the family members are looking as the most important outcomes of treatment is having meaningful relationships, having a stigma-free life, having gainful employment, and opportunity to live the life to its fullest in the society. Look at these two things, the gap between what as expert we imagine as rehabilitation and what patient and families have as desired outcomes. There is a huge mismatch and gap between these two things. And when we start thinking about the support systems we have currently available, to support patients to achieve these desired outcomes, this is by and large what we have on offer. So most of places in Maharashtra we have standalone psychiatrists in private practice or government setups made BME or a mental hospital. And if you are in metros and some big cities, then there might be some private rehabilitation centers which has in addition to this, if we look at the human resources, if psychiatrist is a rarity, then the psychiatric social support worker is even a rare condition. The National Mental Health Survey talks about the treatment coverage for severe mental disorders, which is up to 70. But when we talk about the treatment coverage, it's only about the pharmacological treatment. When we talk about psychosocial treatment gap, it's more than 90%. Most of the patients that we see in our OPDs, apart from the medications and the psychoeducation support that we give them in OPD, there is hardly any psychosocial recovery support system available in our society. So, can you, the next thing?
Yes, please, go ahead. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, so based on this, if we just look at when we started our work, if we compare the institutional rehabilitation mechanisms that we have vis-a-vis community-based rehabilitation, there is a serious dearth of services which are available and which is leading to a huge treatment gap for this kind of services. If we just go back to the first from our residency, all are trained into the biopsychosocial model of mental illness. And over a period of time, as we start growing as an expert, the psychosocial part gets deleted, and many times we start taking a lot of pride in calling us only as a biological psychiatrist. So the key I want to make, especially for the youngsters who have recently joined BPS and started their career, there is a very important role for the biological psychiatry. I am not negating that as a trained psychiatrist, but there is an element of psychosocial care which, without which I think a victory cannot be achieved to its fullest. So it's a high time that as a psychiatrist we need to start reclaiming position as a biopsychosocial expert. Otherwise, all that gap that is created, which is occupied by anti-psychiatry groups, which is very evident in what has happened in the National Mental Health Care Act, that there is a polarization between patients, family groups, and specialists. So if we go to the routine care versus CBR, in routine care we generally talk about only pharmacotherapy, brief psychoeducation, and if required, some rehabilitation related support. But in community-based rehabilitation, there is an additional element of psychoeducation, a need assessment which is done for each individual care plan that is developed, family involvement, livelihood support, and community engagement. So the community-based rehabilitation model, based philosophy of collaborative community-based care. Many times we consider community only as a liability, but we don't consider them as a resource. So there can be multiple resources which families and communities can bring on board as far as the meaningful reintegration of the individual back in community is considered. So it's team effort led by a psychiatrist with a psychiatric social worker or psychologist, dedicated community mental health worker, and peer and support care workers. And the whole support system is developed around this the community mental health worker, which is the cornerstone of this model, which can be any 10th pass community member who can be trained and supervised as a frontline worker, because in near future we are not going to have so many psychologists or psychiatric social workers in this country who can take care to the doorsteps of the individuals who need this kind of they basically do the anchoring of the psychosocial care under supervision of a psychiatric social worker and psychiatrist. So the work that we have done in this regard over the last 2 decades has been in form of randomized control trials and implementation. The state of T was one of the first few randomized control trials of community-based rehabilitation lower and middle income countries, which subsequently got published in Lancet. And then the work that we did under INSENS program to integrate community-based rehabilitation with the tertiary care hospital in Assam, Nagpur, were also very interesting, which showed that the reduction in readmission rate and there is improvement in gainful employment for the patients. Over the period of time, we actually implemented. Hello. Over a period of time, we have developed multiple. There is some disturbance.
No, Hamid, is there any background noise from your side? Somebody is in the room or around the?
No, people have logged in, sir.
Huh?
There are people who are sitting at home and
I can hear some
watching
voices.
this.
So they have. So I request those people who are watching from the home, please at least put off the.
Okay, shall I continue?
Yeah.
Sorry for that.
Yeah, over a period of time, we have experience of providing community-based rehabilitation not only to the patients with severe mental disorders, but for moderate to severe depression and anxiety and substance use disorders. There is the peer and peer training courses that we have developed. There is a robust outcome evaluation, livelihood support, and a digital augmentation that we have recently integrated into it. The point I want to make, the next point I want to make, can you just scroll down the slide? The next point I want to make is, after this, the support services. These are the resources, those have been created for the training and supervision of health workers. This is about experience of providing CPR. Next slide. The community-based rehabilitation can only work if we have the additional support services like peer and caregiver support networks. We have started an expressive art-based group where the patients and families meet every week. Then there is employment support and digital augmentation. The one important point, the next important point I want to make is that the most important thing as far as the rehabilitation is concerned is emphasis on employment. When we talk about recovery and rehabilitation, I think as a mental health expert, we should consider employment as a poster boy of all our efforts, because that is what actually everybody wants at the end of the day. If that person has severe mental disorders, earning money on his or on her own is the best anti-stigma strategy we have found over a period of time. We have developed a structured process where a person with severe mental disorders can be supported to regain back the meaningful employment. As of now, there are hardly any options available for the private or government. having severe mental disorders. Just quickly, next slide, few outcomes of the employment support that we have done in Satara and Pune. The bottom line is that around more than 65% of individuals, if we take them proper process, can have meaningful. Develop similar services in your area or in your department, please feel free to be in touch with us, and we'll be more than happy to work with you to develop this kind of services in your locality. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Hamid. It was a very brief and short presentation. In fact, we'll take the question answer for both. If Dr. Hamid permits that, if his physical health permits, that he can wait for another half an hour. Will you?
Yes.
Thank you. So we switch over to the next speaker, Dr. Ashish Kuthe. So he has a fan over here. So Dr. Ashish Kuthe is from Nagpur. He is working with Regional Mental Hospital Nagpur as in the position of Deputy Superintendent, and also is a part of administrative team over there. He is also part of the members for the Government of Maharashtra's policy making body for rehabilitation in mental health. He's worked in Regional Mental Hospital with an NGO to work on a prakalpa called Prerna Prakalpa. This is for rehabilitation of people with mental illness. The difference between what he has done and what Dr. Hamid has done is Hamid is absolutely working in community, while Dr. Kuthe is working in facility-based rehabilitation on a larger platform of regional mental hospital. So I would like to know the differences, what challenges you get over here, and what freedom you get there, and what are the advantages. Dr. Ashish, please. He is also secretary to the Nagpur Psychiatric Society and secretary to Vidarbha Psychiatric Organization. So over to you, Ashish.
Thank you so much, sir, for my introduction. Good afternoon, all of you. Esteemed Chairperson, Dr. Pradeep Patkar, sir, my dear Dr. Sanjay Kumawat, sir, all my respected teachers here, senior member of BPS, my colleague, my friends, and all other members of the Bombay Psychiatric Society. It's always gives the immense pleasure to present in front of Bombay Psychiatric Society, because I have done my DPM and MD from Mumbai only. So most of all our respected seniors are here, and I'm very glad and honored to be to present in front of the Bombay Psychiatric Society. Yes, Dr. Hamid sir talked about the community reintegration, community individual rehabilitation program. I am working in the mental hospital Nagpur, so it's being as a government wala psychiatrist, I just point out what is the systematic reform that is done in a regional mental hospital Nagpur. Yes, normally it was MOUs done between the government of Maharashtra for the regional mental hospital Nagpur with the Tata Trust, and later on with the Indira Foundation under the project called as UDAN for the systematic mental hospital reform. So, and that the project has a reason the mental hospital has just a custodial care. That custodial care should shift to the the person with the severe mental illness will have the autonomy, dignity, and the community reintegration. This mental hospital Nagpur has a long legacy. It was started in 1864 according to Mental Asylum Act 1854, and later it was converted into the Regional Mental Hospital Nagpur in 1904. It has a 52 acres area, and it has a huge importance for persons with severe mental illnesses, not only for Vidarbha, for adjacent sub-state like Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh and Telangana, being at the center of the India. Yes, the sanctioning beds are 940, out of which functioning beds are 730, and near about 480 to 500 beds are always occupied. And now this mental hospital Nagpur is working according to Mental Care Act 2017. When I go through what should be the ideal mental hospital reform should be, there are some key components are definitely important. And the approach according to the Mental Care Act is the shift of the custodial care to the patient-oriented care. It should be recovery-oriented care. It should be based on the human rights. It should be patient-centered. There should be some emphasis on the community reintegration, functional recovery, and the social integration with the help of the autonomy and dignity. Three main key components of any mental institution reform is the therapeutic and clinical care. Second is the psychosocial rehabilitation, and third one is the community reintegration. In therapeutic care and clinical care, definitely we need a multidisciplinary team with the psychiatrists, psychologists, psychiatric social workers, occupational therapists, psychiatric nurses, attendants, peer support workers. So these are all the multidisciplinary team is needed for the therapeutic and clinical care. Definitely the medical management is very important to make the adherence and the compliance of the treatment for the patient. And the last one is the psychoeducation of the relative regarding the nature of the illness and the need of the treatment. In psychosocial rehabilitation, we should have the occasional training unit where we should give some skill development training like carpentry, tailoring, computer skill, agriculture, horticulture, handicaps, etc. And the vocational training can be linked with the help of the NGOs. The things we can give in psychosocial rehabilitation is the social and life skill training, including the communication, interpersonal skill, self-care, coping skill management, and problem solving techniques. Later we come to the community reintegration. There we should have the halfway home, daycare centers, the family involvement for the reunion and the family education and the psychoeducation about the illness, what is exactly the rehabilitation for him, and definitely what the caregiver can support in this community reintegration. And definitely record patient can be as a peer mentor for this community reintegration. The guiding force for this the reform is a theory of change. Definitely when the MOU was done with the government of Maharashtra with the UDAN project, so initially documentation was done, the SOP is made, and gradually training is done, implementation of SOP started, and definitely that the MOU was done in 2017, and now it's 2025. So since last 7 to 8 years, we have started the reform process, and it is still ongoing process. So mostly that theory of change is very important. At present, the services available at RMH Nagpur is, there are the different services available in OPD as well as IPD. What is the structural process and the structure and process that has happened in last 7 to 8 years that I just want to mention. There was a 52 acres land, and there are some land which was not used. That land is reclaimed for use of the agriculture, and we started getting some vegetable, we started getting some fruits like papaya, banana, and then these fruits or these vegetables are definitely used in our own rehabilitation centers as well as the kitchen in the mental hospital. And the amount what is get from the the agriculture is used for taking the raw material for the daycare centers. So it is the one type of employment pathway for the long staying patient in the mental hospital. Another thing is the process of personal hygiene and maintenance of the all indoor patients, and we name them as we name them the men's salon as a shortcut and the female beauty parlor as a curls. So they are going daily to the men's salon or having their cutting and all, and they are maintaining their personal hygiene. There one voluntary is there. They are advising daily about the personal hygiene and the self care. So then setting up the hand washing platform to facilitate simple behavior changes about the regular hand washing. Construction of the stone benches in the open spaces around the wards so that the people or the patient can integrate or they get facilitate the social activity as well as the interaction among the peers. There was some the structure which was not used. The refurbishment was the old structure was done, and we can use these wards as called as the family wards, where the patients are when the relatives are ready to get admitted, minor patient, we can admit this patient at this old open family ward. The first visible or initial reform what is seen by me is basically the buffet system was started instead of the preset trays, and it gives the patient choice and the dignity. Definitely the training part was very important. That was the capacity building training was very important. There are the esteemed mental experts all over India came in mental hospital Nagpur. They have given the training to the 7 master trainer, and these 7 master trainers give the training to the peer in the mental hospital Nagpur of any cadre from class 1 to up to the class 4. And the training definitely based on the Mental Care Act 2017, based on the human rights, based on the suicide risk assessment, based on the prescription protocol, based on the what is the guideline for seclusion and the restraint. Then it's come to the patient engagement activity. When we started some structural changes, what is the process? So we should engage some patient in different activities to change the environment of the ward, to get more social interaction and making the ward more cheerful. So these are the simple patient engagement activities done in the mental hospital. That is, the reading groups are started. The who has patients are maintained or recovered, or you can say in partial remission, reading groups are started. We started some movie club for them. Then there was dance movement therapy, yoga, morning exercise, and prayer. Prayer is in Marathi, that is at 7:30 morning, and it is in Marathi local language. हीच आमची प्रार्थना माणसाने माणसाला माणसासम वागवावे. So again, this the prayer is based on the human rights, and you need the sustainable change. You have to take the regular workshop, mental health communication workshop done by the mental health team in each ward. There was an innovative program was started last year that was called the e-visit program. The patients are admitted in mental hospital for a few months. So those patients are not meeting their patient family regularly, because it's covered all over the Vidarbha as well as some part of the Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh and Telangana. So it gives a platform to patient to talk and see their relatives virtually. Now we talk about the reunion of the person in mental hospital with the family. Definitely, being as a tertiary mental health care unit, near about 150 to 160 unknown patients or wandering patients are getting admitted in mental hospital Nagpur. And with our multidisciplinary team, or with the help of the social worker and occupational therapist, we started finding out the addresses of this patient. And normally we get near about 90 to 100 patients. We can trace out their addresses and doing the reuniting with the families. These are some interesting cases. These are some female patients which are wandering from last 17 years. Somebody is wandering from 35 years. They are admitted in multiple shelter. They are admitting women's government hospital, government shelter homes, and later on they are shifted to mental hospital Nagpur. Our team started finding out their addresses, and definitely we able to reunite them with their family. One interesting story that one mother was got reunited with her own daughter after 36 years. She was in women's shelter home at Pachim Bengal. Then she came to Chhattisgarh. Then she came to the Priyadarshini government hospital in Nagpur. Later shifted to mental hospital Nagpur, and we able to trace out her address, and we definitely make her happy by reuniting mother with the daughter. Some international family reunion will also happen in 2024. One male patient of Nepal was reunited, and recently the female patient, Miss P, is reunited in Bangladesh. She was admitted in 2023 and giving the address of the Bangladesh. We take some efforts with the help of the Indian embassy and Bangladesh embassy, and reunited at the India and Bangladesh border. This is the team while reuniting this patient at the border. Definitely, according to Mental Care Act 2070, we have the fully functional mental review board. Every month we have the mental health mental review meeting, which is presided by the Honorable District Judge. The patient who is unknown, patient is wandering, patient whose relative are not cooperative, all these type of patients, after getting some duration of treatment, are put up in front of the mental review board by the treating psychiatrist, and the mental review board has to decide whether patient is fit for discharge or not, whether patient is able to get rehabilitated or not. Even some prisoner patients are also assessed in mental review board regarding their regarding their fitness for discharge, or whether they are fit for the trial. After getting the fitness from the mental review board, we can able to rehabilitate few patients to the designated rehabilitation center, to the regional mental hospital Nagpur. There are two designated rehabilitation center at present. That is, one is at Manav Vikas and one is a Mitra Foundation. Approximately 64 to 65 patients are rehabilitated in last 2 to 3 years. Initially, there were 30 patients was also reunited near about 5 years back. So these are the rehabilitated patients. After getting rehabilitated, this long stay patient, I also always visited this rehabilitation center attached to the mental hospital Nagpur. Total number of rehabilitated patients at present are 96, and they are getting the following services like personal care training, daily living activities, social relationship, employment pathway, financial inclusion, skill training, recreation activity, enrollment into the various social service security scheme by making the Aadhaar card, ration card, and the own bank account also. and try to make them independent living. Before going to the rehabilitation centers, or before going to the rehabilitation center or the community rehabilitations, we try to make them some skill, they should go some exit pathway so that they should get some skill, life skills, social skill, and the communication skill, and if possible, we can give the employment pathway too. So the rehabilitation or reintegration in the community is based on the three main objectives: that enable or the readiness of this patient to get discharged from the mental hospital Nagpur or any mental hospital, create the employment pathway for the person with the severe mental illnesses, and provide access to the daycare services as well as the functional skill or the recreation, so that they can go to the community and can earn their own livelihood. These are the various half-year numbers since it was started by the Tata Trust from 17 to 22, and later it was supported by the Indira Foundation. So all these patients who are in the halfway home, they don't have the usual mental hospital uniform. They can use their own uniform or own dresses, and they live just like an independent living, but in the only campus. These service users are near about 191 service users are being rehabilitated or being getting trained in the halfway home. Out of these 190, near about 84 also get reintegrated with their family or reunited with their family. And all the patients which are admitted in the mental hospital as well as the halfway home, near about 197 service users got the Aadhaar card now. 50 service users also have the ration cards, and the 40 service users also have the own bank account. We could not get the PAN cards, but otherwise they have bank account, ration card, and Aadhaar card. After staying at the halfway home, they also go to visit to the daycare daily, and they have the life skill training type, computer training, tailoring unit, housekeeping, farming, gardening, paper plate making, handloom, jewelry making, doormat making, and a food truck. Food truck is very unique, innovative is there. The food truck is maintained in the OPD premises by only patient. There is one volunteer, or you can say the coordinator, who is supervising the our record patients, but the food truck is fully run by the own record mental health patient who are staying in the halfway home. So these are the key achievement that is done during these last 7 to 8 years in the form of the road to reform. Honorable Health Minister of Maharashtra also visited daycare center recently. Some exhibitions are done by the Nagpur Municipal Corporation. We also given some product or exhibition of our patient-made product in the women entrepreneur gathering. Definitely recreation activities are always done. So as far as this reform is concerned, a key achievement is definitely the fully functional halfway home, vibrant daycare centers, and the 2 designated rehabilitation centers are attached to the RMH Nagpur. OPD reforms also made, some SOPs also made, some motivational posters are made, so that the OPD should have the patient-friendly environment, and it should be motivating to the relatives also. Beside that, the Center of Excellence project also came in RMH Nagpur with the academic courses or the PG courses, with the help in collaboration with the Indira Gandhi Medical College Nagpur. We have started the MD psychiatry courses, and there are 19 students are normally taking the training under the Center of Excellence, and half of the students are taking having the posting in the RMH Nagpur, and half of the students are taking training from the IGMC Nagpur. Definitely, as the academic sessions are started, we started doing the library, mental workshop, and various CMEs nowadays. Telemedicine is also attached to the mental hospital in Nagpur. There are 4 telemedicine centers in Maharashtra. One is Nagpur, one is Bid, other is Thane, and fourth one is the Pune. They have the 24/7 psychologists with 1 coordinator psychiatrist and 1 project coordinator. So these are the various new projects also started. What are the way forward? Definitely, though we have only 2 designated rehabilitation centers, we require more involvement of the NGOs, more government schemes, so that our patients should get involved into the employment, and they should get individual rehabilitation. So that is something which is still not done. And yes, the therapeutic village model is the ideal model where the institution, they can live in a small community where they can live, work and learn together. And this gradual transition can come from the institution to the halfway and the independent living. So to conclude, I said that this reform, though it started in 2017, it is just an ongoing process. We have to work together from the WFEC services to the patient engagement activity, for family union to the economic empowerment with the help of the rehabilitation. Vision is very clear. There should not be no custody to this patient. We should definitely give to care, and they should get community reintegrated with our own contribution. The reform is only possible when our institution, our mental health professional and community come together, and definitely we can make them community reintegrated. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Kuthe. Can we go over to question and answer? Can we have Hamid on screen? Just wait. My first question to Dr. Hamid. See, we are all, Hamid, is it audible to you?
Yes.
Yeah. See, we are all watching from Mumbai now. Now, ours is an urban area. And when we practice in urban area, our clients are generally need a kind of a training which will be apart from the micro skills like personal hygiene care, communication skills, interpersonal skills, etc. The vocational skills also. But I found that vocational skills are not gone beyond rakhi making, candle lights making, or some small seasonal items like greetings. What you will suggest us, because even your experience, I feel that it's more in the field of agro-based activities. Rightly so, of course, the area from where you belong to. What you will suggest for us in Mumbai? Dr. Hamid, please.
Yeah, no, it's a very important question. We have our work in Pune also, which is in a way similar to Mumbai. But as the complexity of job goes up, the need for scaling also becomes very intense. We have certain patients in Pune and Mumbai also who have gone back to the IT professional jobs. But as clinicians, we know that when there is a cognitive function, these systems, these things becomes very challenging. And if you want to do it on scale, then the issues also come. There is no simple answer to that. But the point I want to make is, if there is a continuous process of supporting their recovery, there is going to be an element of disability despite best of our efforts for complex and then working with family to accept that and to find these families in Pune, they just can't come to terms with the thing that now their son cannot be the high flying IT engineer. It's also a part of recovery and the process of psychoeducation. Have some realistic goals. And then adjusting to the jobs which are not that sophisticated might be one option. But yeah, it's a challenge.
Thank you. Anyone from the audience? Yeah.
I'm Dr. Gore from Navi Mumbai. I had a question for you, sir. The resources which you get for managing rehab activities from the government, are they adequate or there's a dearth of resources? And my second question is, for rehab, medication is an important component. Do you get the whole spectrum of medicines from the government or there's a budgeting issue?
True, sir, very true. Definitely there are some challenges. We are working with the collaboration with the Indira Foundation. So yes, there are some inadequate supply of medicine sometime, so we have to manage the medication from the other institute. And definitely there are some, the amount or the funds, inadequate funds are definitely there. But in collaboration, working with the NGOs and working with the government setup, we are definitely managing well with the help of this Indira Foundation.
Yes, please.
So actually, when I was talking to both Dr. Hamid and Dr. Ashish, one of the things that has bothered me often is that we do not have data about disabled, mentally ill, as much as we have about other disorders. So if we look at the UDID website, we would find that, I've just got some data, like out of 35,000 UDID cards in Mumbai metropolitan region, there is just 254 patients who have got a UDID for mental illness. In suburban Mumbai, 30,437 patients of disability cards, 225 are those with mental illness. So I was just wondering whether there are barriers in getting UDID cards. I mean, I was thinking whether we should actually have a database of disabled mentally ill in the city, whether we should be proactively as psychiatrists asking them to get their UDID cards, so that because disability arising due to say intellectual disability or autism or even now SLD because of the concessions and the reservations in job is so high, whereas mental illness becomes a hidden disease. And we do not know the sheer number of people who are disabled and just at home. So, like Tata Memorial Hospital has got a cancer registry. So it still has just about, like Joyita was telling me, only 17% of patients with cancer are still registered with the cancer registry. I had this utopian thing that whether we should have a registry for, schizophrenia. I mean, eventually when their parents pass away, there is a question as to how they would live and who would support them and who would monitor them and who would take care of them. So these were questions. I mean, I was thinking whether BPS has any role in, helping out, whether BPS should collaborate with some NGO or with Tata Institute of Social Sciences. I mean, I would like the members of BPS to actually think and tell us whether we can do something. I mean, we can have a separate committee looking into it and see that more and more number of our patients are they get the UDID cards, and whether we can tie up. Do governments or do communities know that it is such a disabling disorder? I mean, when we come to little middle class and upper middle class communities, as Dr. Hamid rightly pointed out, the inability to enroll their wards to menial jobs becomes a big barrier in rehabilitation. I mean, you are well placed. How will your kids then be employed just as a helper or as a lift man or something like that, or be a help in a shop? So very less answers. I feel that it is. I mean, government jobs are the best place. I work in a government sector. So all that we have to do is show the law and say that the person can be on a supernumerary post, can be inefficient, can be non-productive, but yet be there till retirement. So just some remarks and some thoughts on what I was thinking. So the floor could just give some suggestions.
Yes, Dr. Ravi Abhinkar.
Rehabilitation is very important, and as Dr. Kumawat rightly said, candle making and cane weaving is not the solution. He should go back to job for which he was trained, for which already employed. But problem with some patients, especially psychotics, is adherence and compliance. Though they recover, they are reluctant to take tablets. But nowadays we find that HR people are quite sympathetic. So I have tried in few organizations like in RCF, TCS, that when the person goes to work, he takes tablets in the presence of the security person or HR person. So means we have to say that if you ensure compliance, we ensure that he'll be reasonably okay and he'll not have a psychotic breakdown. So it's important to have a dialogue with HR people, which nowadays are willing and cooperative even to accept psychotic people. Of course, those who have recovered. But human nature is something different. I remember a story from RCF where I has to go. There, one handicapped person was on compassionate ground given a job of repairing those cane chairs, cane wire. So he was diligent, used to work. He used to repair about 4 or 5 chairs every day. And he used to get reasonable income. So after a few years, few months, some people felt that he is sincere. So why not take him in the regular employment of RCF? So the wheels moved and he got a regular job in RCF. He was a full-time employee, not related to the number of chairs. So the moment he became a regular employee, he said, today I got back in, today I got this pain. So his output from 5 chairs went down to 1 or 2 chairs. This is human nature, so we can't change it.
Regarding this advocacy, and you have to knock the doors of assembly to put our questions and all that, and for that we require a lot of evidential, like these data that we are seeing. My important problem is how can I make my psychotics like ladke bhau or ladki bahin to the government? That is a big problem.
Great. Yes, please. Otherwise also being misused. Otherwise also it is better to be misused and get used for majority, isn't it? So we see from the larger perspective. In fact, as she said, our representation in the disability reservation is also hardly any. How we, even in government sector, we check the patients, we see the patients, treat the patient, and that's it. There are people who keep coming to us as chronic patients. We never bother to go for any revaluation for disability, and then to give them cards for disability. I mean, this process also, it's our responsibility. Like physical handicap, there is an awareness in the crowd, in the community about it. Right from panchayat level, they have been told, you go for it, you will get advantages, you will get this concessions, etc. From our side, there is nothing like this. Of course, stigma and awareness are the major challenges, I feel, or the barriers in this. Yes, please.
And the caregiver are totally different here. In case of physical handicap and all, they themselves can talk. But here it is not. That's why the caregiver getting education and when to report is more important compared to other category.
Not directly related, but couple of cases where the kind superiors took disastrous decision. A policeman, psychotic, not very efficient in the work, I'm duty par dal do na. 2 cases. One of them is dead, other is alive.
Hello. So I would just like to share a story. Okay, my uncle is a schizophrenic. Okay, and he is still on medication. He is taking treatment from Dr. Machiswala. And like Shobha Ma'am said, how do we actually go about taking care of such patients? That actually the journey, because I've seen him go through so much, that inspired me into the field of psychology. And today I can tell you proudly that I am the one who's taking responsibility for that. Like, the family members and everyone who are going ahead and taking care of this. Good. But there is one major thing, one major challenge is that our family faces. Although he's recovered very well, he's well adjusted into the society, and he does have very social active life as well, like active social life. He's earning, he's on a job as well, for that matter of fact. But when a personal, intimate relationship comes into a picture. Like we have denied him so many opportunities of getting married to someone, although he craves for that kind of relationship. That is somewhere, I think, from a niece's perspective, that yes, something of that situation, because the government also doesn't allow such, people with severe mental disorders to get into relationships as such. Yeah, this is something even with autism, it is there, where we have seen it, so we have seen it.
Government should come in picture.
It is.
I don't think in matrimonial government should come in picture. In fact, MHCA 2017 also gives a green signal to it. It's Hindu Marriage Act comes as a barrier that if you are suffering from an illness, non-nameable, treatable, and still being given the best of treatment, not responded, then the marriage stands null and void, provided the other party takes objection for it. If it has been transparent, there should not be any problem. Government doesn't come in picture.
Okay, well, I'll discuss it, but thank you very much. And I would like to share this thing, one more thing, that people are very sensitive, and psychoeducational programs do help and inspire families to take care of the patients as well, then, inpatients.
Yeah, well, thank you. Thank you, Dr. Hamid. I hope from all members of BPS, we wish you get well soon. And thank you, Dr. Kuthe. You have come all the way from Nagpur. Thank you very much.
I would please request the chairpersons to felicitate our speaker. I would request the chairpersons to please felicitate our speaker. No. I would now request Dr. Sarika Dakshikar ma'am, our EC member, to please felicitate the chairpersons. इससे नहीं होगा
फोटो उनको भी आने दो फोटो में त्यांना जरा गॅप सोडा त्यांना पिन करता येईल का आम्ही सगळे काढून टाका ना या समोर